It's up to you, New York, New York. Daniel Nunez, let's go.
Let's do it.
Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday, Mr. Nunez.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on YouTube. I'm your host, Richie, here with my main man, Mr. Idris Salam, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx, now in Asheville, North Carolina.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? It's 20 degrees right here in the Carolinas, but you know what? That's warmer than it's been. We've been in the teens and the single digits. So hallelujah, hallelujah. All right, let's go.
Well, it's cold as fuck, so there ain't gonna be no neighbors asking for no sugar.
You got that right. Stay out of my yard. I ain't opening my door.
Yes, sir. On today's show, we're going to be hitting on the NFL honors. Some of it I liked, some of it I had to scratch my head a little, and the same for the Hall of Fame. Now, some of you might be like, how can you be confused about the Hall of Fame ballot? Well, I like some of the inductees. I especially like the guy on the senior class who finally got in. Congrats to Roger Craig.
Yes, sir. Long overdue.
Yeah, way overdue. It's quite shocking that he waited that long, and I'm going to hit on that on our NFL segment. I also want to hit on some coaching situations in the NFL. Eagles lose their offensive line coach. Could be a potential interesting hire for the New York Giants.
Hey, you know what? That's great because I'm putting the pressure on their wide receivers coach too. So maybe we'll get him also.
Yeah, I mean, currently we have a wide receivers coach, but
I know you.
Come week 8, guys bailing on balls, doing the Kenny Galladay alligator arm, just maybe.
Right. Yeah,
or maybe year 2. This is a regime that I think is going to be there for at least a decade.
Yeah, I just wanted some tickets, man.
Yeah, bro.
Shouts out Aaron Moorhead, you my mans, yo. Come on over to
Yes,
Big Blue.
Sir. Your daddy was drafted there. It's in your blood.
Number 47, come on with it, bro.
Daniel Nunez on a comment regarding Stoutland. That's the gentleman I was talking about. Stoutland ain't leaving Philly. I heard us yesterday staying with the team in a different capacity. All right, so we will be keeping our ears and eyes on that.
But
we're gonna go ahead.
Before we move on, and this is not a shot at the Eagles. I got to give Nick Sirianni props. I can't stand him. I think he's a knucklehead, but that's what makes us rise. So I got to give him props because over the last 3 years, he's been losing coordinators after coordinator after coordinator, and he's still been able to put out there a top-tier team. So I'm going to give him props on that.
They consistently have been getting into the postseason. It's like with the Eagles in the Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni era, it's been like every other year. They made the Super Bowl, lost a close one.
Yeah.
Then they imploded the next year. Then they went back to the Super Bowl. And this year, many would view it as another implosion. So it's been every other year for the Eagles. But we as Giant fans could speak on something similar during the Tom Coughlin era, that when you're making the playoffs, in our case, 5 years in a row, Eagles have been doing it consistently. It's a good feeling in terms of the fan base because every year that you're going to be playing for something bigger. So the Eagles right now, have been the most consistent standard in the NFC East, regardless of the imperfections. You know, keeping coaching staffs together always affects. We saw it with Green Bay during the Favre era, the
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers era. You know, whenever you have great quarterbacks that are putting up great numbers, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
lose coordinators, or even if you have defenses that are performing at a high level. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you look at the Saquon record-breaking season just 2 years ago. I have a feeling that 2-6 will probably have a bounce back in 2-6. So we'll see about that. But before we hit fully on football, I definitely want to speak on a new addition for the New York Knicks, and I'm happy that Leon Rose and co. did not panic and do something that they might regret because, you know,
Right.
history is cyclical. And I would have hated to see the Knicks regret trading too much for one player, that one player, of course, being Giannis. It looks like anything that's going to happen with him will be in the offseason. But Jose Alvarado, welcome back
Yes,
to
sir.
New York City, the Brooklyn born Puerto Rican talent. He actually
Yes, sir.
played for the Puerto Rican national team as well. This is exactly what the New York Knicks need. Why did the
Mm-hmm.
Knicks do this? Well, number one, they were able to flip a quick trade just 48 hours after sending 2 draft picks to New Orleans. Yabasol did not pan out with the Knicks.
Yeah.
This is a player that you can insert in your rotation immediately to
Mm-hmm.
help out the second unit. Of course, Tyler Kolek is going to be
Mm-hmm.
getting more minutes because Deuce McBride, with a core injury, probably, well, not probably, definitely needs surgery, probably won't be back
Yeah.
until the postseason. But what Alvarado brings is a guy that can give you on any given night 10 to 15 solid minutes. He's going to play
Right.
defense. He's going to crash out for loose balls.
Right.
Now, I
You,
wouldn't call him a great offensive player, but he still has to be accounted for on the floor. If you leave him open, he will torch you.
he reminds me of a poor man's Josh Hart. He doesn't do
Good in that,
anything
yeah,
great.
good comparison.
Yeah, he doesn't do everything great, but he's the type of guy like, I need you to go in there and give me 10, 15. I need you to help hold it down. So my start, he's a good plug-in. And he's good. He's good for that because he can play some defense. He's not a scorer. He can put some points, but he's not a 15, 20 point scorer, you know what I mean? And the Knicks are not needing that for him. We need defense. And he's a good plug-in guy to say, hey, let's go hometown kid. So him playing in the Mecca, in the Garden, being a Brooklyn kid, he's gonna love it. He's gonna love it. Come on back home, bro.
And it's much needed experience behind Brunson because while I do
Yeah.
like Tyler Kolek, I was a fan of his in college. I like what he did
Mm-hmm.
in the summer league 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's still learning, and you
Yeah, he's still
want
learning.
that veteran presence when you're
Yeah.
talking about handling the basketball in the fourth quarter. And what I also like about this is
Mm-hmm.
that in fourth quarters, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to see a situation perhaps where both he and Jalen Brunson could be on the floor, with
That'd be
Brunson
good.
concentrating more as a two, as the main scorer, where Alvarado
Right.
will be tasked with playing defense on the other team's best ball handler and many
Mm-hmm.
times best scorer. So this is
Mm-hmm.
a win for the Knicks, and I think this speaks loudly that the Knicks were not willing to break up this core. They believe in
Right.
this core, and it also helps with after all the smoke and all the the panic amongst the fan base and the beat writers that the
Mm-hmm.
Knicks are in the midst of an 8-game winning streak, playing their best ball of the season.
Yeah. And like you said about him and Brunson on the floor together, that'd be great. Because Brunson can concentrate on the two. Because Brunson, I mean, he can play the one and two, but he's a hell of a two. He's a hell of a two. So, and with Kolek, I mean, I like what Mike Brown is doing because this is what Tibbs didn't do. And Tibbs had the personnel to do what Mike Brown is doing now. Maybe not as good, but I think maybe so because we got to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think Tibbs didn't evolve. He didn't say, "Hey, okay, we need this." But he was like, "No, I got these 7 guys. I'm going to run these 7 guys in the ground."
Yeah,
You
what
know,
frustrated me 2 seasons ago when Brunson got hurt in Game 7, and guys are dropping. Julius Randle got hurt before the playoffs.
mm-hmm.
Um, Alec Burks was a guy that I thought could have meshed well into the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, it was a stubbornness from Coach Tom Thibodeau, where he wasn't trusting. And I think that the Knicks would have gone further and possibly would have already raised a banner, or at least for the
Mm-hmm.
East,
Mm-hmm.
had Thibodeau not been so stubborn. Daniel Nunez, from a Lakers fan right here, I have to congratulate your Knicks on beating my Lakers a few days ago. Good game. Yes, it was a good game. High intensity. Luka played well, but I feel that the Knicks did their best to make sure that the Lakers' second and third options were not going off while Luka does what Luka does usually, except yesterday when he cost me $125. Thanks a lot, sir. 10-point performance cost me one of my parlays. But yeah, the Knicks, overtime victory over Denver. I noticed that in recent years, whenever we get on the court with Denver, it's always like a run and shoot kind of game, high octane kind of games. The Knicks have been able to play the West Coast brand of basketball and come out on the right side of it more times than not.
Mm-hmm.
But the Knicks, a big key of this 8-game winning streak has been playing great team defense and winning the rebound war. And that's a huge reason, because you've had nights where Brunson is not shooting well and you're
Mm-hmm.
getting big contributions from other guys on the bench, whether it be or just guys in the rotation, whether it be OG Anunoby, Josh Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Karl Anthony Towns has been definitely putting his head to the grindstone and playing more
Mm-hmm.
of the style that Mike Brown asked. So
Mm-hmm.
right now, it looks like the guys are getting along. The guys are definitely responding to the first bit of adversity that the first bit of adversity
Mm-hmm.
that this new look Knicks team has been presented with. So it's definitely something to feel good about in the month of February. And the Knicks have had a propensity for really playing well over the
Mm-hmm.
last few years in the month of February.
And I'm still proud of the Knicks. We had that bad stretch, a couple of weeks ago, week ago, 6 game losing those games. But I wasn't really down on them because for the most part throughout the season, we've been a pretty dominant team. So I looked at it like, okay, we hit a bad patch. Every team is a bad patch, except for the Michael Jordan Bulls. They never lost more than 3 games in a row, and I don't know how many games.
That's that is just so ridiculous when
it's
you think about it.
insane, dude. But I wasn't. Of course, I was like, dang man, we got to get it together. But I didn't lose any hope because I knew we had been balling out. We hit a rough patch. Cat wasn't playing defense. Brunson looked a little tired a little bit. His shot wasn't on all the way. Everybody they weren't locking down on defense. So I didn't worry about it. I was saying once we start making little trades, bringing piece here, and I'm shouts out to Mike Brown, man. He knew what we had, just like you said. He knew what we had. He knew what we need to keep. He said, no, we got a good team. We just need to add a piece here, a piece there, but we need to leave the core alone.
Well, you're a lot more calm than me because I'm not going to lie. I
I'm
was
an old guy,
questioning. I was questioning Karl Anthony Towns' character because it was bothersome. You talk about any ball player, they all want to score. We know this.
Yeah.
But when you're being asked to do something that's out of your comfort zone, so to speak, or something that you haven't done in a while, it can be disconcerting for the player too. I know that Josh Hart early in the year was a little frustrated with the inconsistencies of his role. But I think one thing that this Knicks team is starting to do is that they're buying into the bigger prize, the bigger picture. And
Right.
it's understanding that you're playing for one another and you're playing for a bigger prize, something that has eluded this organization for over 5 decades. And Nunez, who's in our comments, can relate to it because his Philadelphia Eagles, while they're having one of the best patches of their history, if not the best in terms of consistency, they too know what it's like multiple decades to be a good team but not get over the hump. And that's something that has eluded the Knicks for so very long. Nunez is talking about Kennard, Lakers sharpshooter. Yes, I do agree. The Lakers have done a decent job of bringing in role players and guys that work. This is obviously Luka's team now. I personally think LeBron James, if he chooses to play next season, will not be a Laker. But we'll see. I mean, I don't think he goes back to Miami. Cleveland is a possibility. And even though I don't want this to happen, given his forever chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan, I would not be mind blown if at minimum he and his team look at the Knicks. I'm not saying I want him, but I am saying it's not out of the question. Idris, you there?
My
I think
bad.
Idris.
I was on mute.
Oh, it's all good.
What
No,
else?
but
What I was
it
saying.
wouldn't mind blow me if LeBron takes like a 2-year deal to finish it up in New York for the sheer fact that it's a challenge that might not compare to any other challenges. Not to mention he gets out of the Western Conference gauntlet.
You know what? I don't know, man, because Mike Brown coached him in Cleveland before and got him
Well, that's
fired.
another thing.
You know, and also I don't think they want to bring that circus to New York right now. Because
I don't believe so either.
Mike Brown's more of a. You see how he was with Golden State. He was with
But
Sacramento.
if he's willing to play the role of the big brother 20 minutes a game role where in expanded time, of course, we're referring to the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
he, there is a value there. I just don't, to your point, I don't think that the Knicks would be as interested in it. But, at this juncture of LeBron's career, he already has so many records. He's still sitting on 4 rings. I mean, what's left? I would think that he wants to try to get as close to Jordan as possible because
I'll
that's
be
the
honest with
player,
you,
whether
dude.
fair or not, that he is most compared to.
I'll be honest, dude. I don't want to see him in Madison Square Garden except playing against the Knicks. I don't want.
No, I'm with you too.
Yeah.
I think that ship sailed. I truthfully revisiting 2010 and that era of Knicks basketball, NBA basketball,
Mm-hmm.
uh, when the decision, '09, that whole period there.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, D Wade, and Chris were
Mm-hmm.
all willing to go to New York
Yeah.
because the big standstill and was that LeBron's like, well, if I'm leaving Cleveland, you should leave your comfort zone too. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
intended necessarily to be one guy bringing everybody over to a team he already played on.
Right.
But because the Knicks won in on Amare Stoudemire, that kind of made the getting LeBron and D Wade and whatever else they were cooking damn near impossible.
Hey, Richie, could you hear the music that was playing a second ago?
No.
Okay, good, because my alarm went off and I thought
You may very well be right, Nunez, but I do think it depends on if he feels that he still has to do more because the reality is most athletes, when their career ends, it doesn't end in a glorious way. I
his
mean,
is
Michael
not.
Jordan, what he did in Washington was impressive, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also forgettable. We've seen Patrick Ewing, my God, I try to forget that. Allen Iverson, so many great players. Hakeem Olajuwon in Toronto, nobody wants to remember that. Um,
Ewing.
yeah, Ewing was painful. But
Yeah,
the
I
thing
heard.
is, so many players this happens to. I mean, do people remember Tracy McGrady being a
Right,
box out away from an NBA title?
right.
You know, Ryan Shed, Shed. Since we got you here, tomorrow night, shooting between 7 8 p.m. Possibly, I'm thinking 8 p.m. No later than 8:30. But I would like to get our final Super Bowl show in. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to obviously analyze tomorrow's, Sunday's game, but also talk about some Super Bowls of yesteryear. So if you're able to join, Shed, hit me or Idris up. Let us know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading this. Yeah, man, I don't envy that. I mean, I actually had to put the heat on here in Florida last week because I always tell people the cold in the South messes with you because it goes into the bones.
Yeah, Shed, I'm with you, bro, because we were getting like 8 degrees, 7 degrees. We woke up to 20 this morning. So it feels like spring, bro. Because here, um, if it's 30 degrees, we're like, hey, it's pretty warm today. So but yeah, I'm with you on LeBron. I think LeBron has run his course in LA. I think LA is tired of LeBron. They're tired of his circus, and they should have been tired with his circus. And nothing against Bronny. I actually like Bronny. He's been humble. He's just been going about his business and not, he's not been acting like, yeah, my dad is LeBron James, and he hasn't.
No,
He's
he's
been
a
acting
humble
like,
kid. I got no bad for the kid.
yeah, he's been acting very humble. He's been acting like a kid enjoying the game, just enjoying the life. And I'm really happy for him. I want him to make it because he he is such a good kid. And Bryce decided to go to Arizona. He's not foregoing nothing. He's going to play college basketball. Bryce is good. Bryce might be better than his dad when he's coming out. But I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
did see that.
Yeah. So, but with LeBron, I think LA's tired of LeBron. I think everyone's tired of LeBron.
Well, even though Jeannie Buss is no longer in power over there, I think the comments, and you know, given the personality that LeBron is, I don't think that he'll have any interest in staying after that. And the thing with a player like LeBron James, similar to a Randy Moss, similar to a Terrell Owens, is that the problem with players like that, even Shaq to a level, is that when you have that mercenary reputation, whether you ask for it or whether it's something the media put on you, you don't really have a home. I mean, I get that Cleveland, Akron specifically, but the Cleveland Cavaliers would be the most identifiable home. But it also makes it complex because many would argue that his best basketball was over a 4-year period with D Wade and Bosh in Miami. Now, he did do the unthinkable, bringing Cleveland a world title, but it's complex with a guy like LeBron, where you have other legends where even if they made other stops, because with Shaq, some people remember him with the Heat, depending on when you were born. Some people remember him with the Magic. Some people remember him with the Lakers. Some people, unfortunately, remember him as a Sun or a Celtic or a Cavalier, even, you know. So, you know, with different players, there's different stories to all this. Like, I think even a guy like Scottie Pippen, who was one of the greatest number twos in the league at sidekick, while I like what he did in Portland, fortunately, not too many people remember him with anything outside of the Bulls. So that's advantageous to Scottie.
Yeah, but with Portland, they had a good first year, but after that, Portland went downhill. Actually,
they should have went to the finals. They had the Lakers dead to rights, but you know,
went to the finals. Yeah,
Lakers had a phenomenal fourth quarter led by Kobe and Shaq, and that iconic alley-oop really set the tone for what was to be Scottie Pippen. Some of his best basketball in terms of just playing for the team was done in Portland, no doubt about that. We're going to hit on the NFL honors. These are some of our winners. Idris, we know that MVP, whether in the Super Bowl or in the regular season, has basically been a quarterback award.
Yeah.
Do you feel that Matthew Stafford, although he did toss 46 touchdown passes and took his team to the NFC title game, do you feel that he and Drake May were the two most deserving to be finalists? Because I'll be honest, I know that Christian McCaffrey took home a lot of awards yesterday, comeback player of the year, among others. But I personally think that Christian McCaffrey should be the NFL MVP.
Me too. Reason being, I say CMC should be MVP because the Niners, first off, props to the Niners, man. Those guys balled out considering all the injuries. I mean, that team was decimated, dude.
And that's going to lead me to Coach of the Year as well.
Yeah. So, and with you take CMC off that team, they are done. This team might not even get to 500, man.
My thing is this: they played with a backup quarterback for half the season. Shouts out Mac Jones. He resurrected his career and showed his worth.
No Brandon Ayuk.
Shouts out Kyle Shanahan. What bothers me about this is when you're game planning for the Rams, of course, you have two good running backs. You have probably in this particular season the best 1-2 duo at receiver in Adams and Puka. When you look at a team like Seattle, we know what they overcame. But when you know it's the McCaffrey show and he's still able to do what he did, and just in a fantasy relevance, putting up more numbers than quarterbacks,
right?
That says everything to me. And I feel that Christian McCaffrey should be the league MVP. And if Kyle Shanahan didn't win Coach of the Year, I could understand that to a level. But I think that the Coach of the Year should have stayed in that division with Mike McDonald. And it's so ironic because the man who won it, Mike Vrabel, and don't get me wrong, he did a great job. But the New England Patriots did not play the caliber of teams that the San Francisco 49ers or the Seattle Seahawks played this year.
And also, I would go.
That was the best division in the league by far, the NFC West.
Yeah, I would go McDonald or Shanny because McDonald, I mean, Vrabel's been in this league for, as a coach for a good little while.
That's another good point.
Yeah, and McDonald came in there. I mean, he's taking the team straight to the Super Bowl, and this team look. You got a veteran quarterback in Sam Darnold who last year actually showed he can ball. By his first season, since he got drafted, he showed he can ball. So you didn't know what to expect when he got there. You know, I mean, I'm not going to call that team a bunch of no names, but if you mention Charbonnet to most people who just casual fans, they go, who?
I do think to a level, Idris, and I've said this about a month or so ago. I do think to a level it's an East Coast bias.
It is.
The Seattle Seahawks have to be one of the outside of the Pacific Northwest and that region of the country. I feel that they are very overlooked and very underappreciated. And now with Vrabel winning Coach of the Year, not that the team needs added motivation, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for a lot of players.
Right.
But I believe that it is an added motivation that the Seahawks are really going to want to put it on the Patriots and say, you got it wrong. That guy is the Coach of the Year.
I'm gonna give shouts out to Buda Baker, man. I've always been a fan of him.
Me too.
For him got to ruin that. I love me some Buda Baker. I mean, my biggest memory of him is Metcalf running him down, but still, I like Buda Baker.
Yeah, Joe Thuney, Protector of the Year. It's not here on the list. It was a little lower.
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck, I actually believe that I'm okay with that.
Me too.
When I look at what he accomplished this year. Nunez has the Pats winning? What?
Nunez, I got them getting smoked.
Carson Schlesinger. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett, without question.
Definitely.
I think in a different season, possibly Brian Burns could have won it, but not this year because you're talking about history.
Myles Garrett, he could have got MVP too, but they're not going to give it to a defensive guy like that.
They haven't done that since Lawrence Taylor in '86, and they've only done it twice. And the previous time was even before the Super Bowl era.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor's the only one to win it in the Super Bowl era. '86, his MVP season also lines up with the New York Football Giants winning their first ever Super Bowl.
Jackson Smith and Jigba, ground player, and he. I wish
once again, he had a great season, offensive player of the year. But what?
Yeah.
McCaffrey should have just. I get that they have to spread the love around, but I think McCaffrey should have done a clean sweep on anything offensive related this year.
Me too, because he was. I mean, he did everything. Mac Jones, we knew what Mac Jones was. I mean, he looked good this year though.
Sure.
But Mac Jones didn't look like he belonged in the league until he got on the field this year.
I tend to agree. Belichick, the guy who gets a lot of scrutiny, did a great job of masking his weaknesses the year that they did go to the playoffs.
Yeah, Purdy was up and down hurt. How can you not give it to CMC, man?
No, I'm with you 100%. Another thing, and we're going to move this along to the NFL Hall of Fame inductions. Oh, by the way, since we're on the MVP talk, I'll say this quickly. I've run into a lot of forums where people are questioning the greatness of Eli Manning, that he was never truly elite, Anyone that remembers the 2011 season, we've spoken on this so many times, but bottom 5 running game, bottom 5 defense.
Yep.
And he owns the NFL postseason record for most passing yards in a postseason. And I don't want to just reflect on that one particular run. Well, in 14 and 15, he was third in touchdown to interception ratio behind only Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Now, this is a guy that everybody likes to poke at the 3 years that he led the league in interceptions. Well, guess what? One of those 3 years, he ended up walking away with a Super Bowl, one of the greatest fourth quarters ever. And you're not going to convince me that it was just a helmet catch. He also threw a touchdown to Tyree in that quarter to give them the first lead. And they also went to Plaxico Burress over the top to win it with 36 seconds left. Hang on 1 second. What's up, Noah?
No.
Doing a show with Uncle Idris. Why don't you hang here? You could relax and hang.
Something also about Eli, he does get a lot of help, but if you look at the people Eli went through, Eli went through say what you say about Romo. Romo was a good quarterback. He's probably one of the greatest quarterbacks not to get to a Super Bowl. He went against Romo. He went against Mike Ryan when he was in his prime. Rodgers, Favre. Golly, I mean, he went through a
He
lot of
beat
tough
two.
QBs.
He beat two MVPs in the year that they did it. That would be Rodgers and Brady. Former MVPs.
He did it twice because
Favre.
he beat
Favre
Brady
has
and
a record for
Favre.
most consecutive.
He beat Favre and
He beat,
Brady. He beat Brady and Rodgers too. Yeah,
and Matt Ryan,
and
who
Matt
was not an
Ryan.
MVP yet. His MVP season was to come 5 years later, but nonetheless, yeah. And one last tidbit on Eli Manning's 2011.
Mm-hmm.
He had more passing yards than this year's MVP.
Thank you. You know something? I want to add his fourth quarter comeback. I think I saw he got the most fourth quarter comebacks. Also, name a quarterback, and I challenge any football fan out there. Name a quarterback who won a Super Bowl or two Super Bowls with a bottom five defense and a bottom five running game. Name a quarterback.
Yeah, he did that in one season. And while the 2007 defense was a lot better than the 2011 one,
it was still
they were
17.
not in the top 10, nor were they top. Yeah, exactly, you're dead in the middle.
And name another quarterback who has won two Super Bowls without a Hall of Fame wide receiver,
right?
Hall of Fame running back.
Tiki should be in one day. I'm actually remiss that he's not in yet.
But they didn't win a Super Bowl with him. See,
indeed.
Name you can't find one.
Odell, and another thing too. Odell was on a trajectory during the first 3 years of his career to possibly go down as the greatest wide receiver of all time. Who was throwing him the ball during those seasons?
Like that number 10 guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing that annoys me because you look at all his other stops, whether it be Cleveland, whether it be LA. The only reason he was even able to stud out in LA was because of an injury that got him into more playing time. And Odell has been a shell of himself since he left the New York Giants.
And you know what? Let me talk about the helmet catch. People say, "Oh, if it didn't Tyree," you know what? People forget what Eli did to get that ball off.
I've seen some of the stupidest things with regard to that play. I think
he threw a good pass. Tyree caught the ball with his hands.
And I'm tired of fans saying like, "Oh, where's the holding call?" Oh, guys, I've been watching football forever. When did they ever call holding in the last 2 minutes of a game?
Holding can be called on every play.
Especially in the playoffs.
Holding couldn't be called on every play.
Oh, no doubt about it. But we know what it is.
They're going to call a holding call on that?
Nah. And I revisited a 6-year-old episode with Ryan Clark just shitting on Eli because, Ryan got his first NFL interception against Eli. Yeah. But Clark, conveniently leaves out other games when he was a member of that Washington team where Eli had a quarterback rating of like over 118 and stuff of that nature. So I just can't. But look, I'm not making this specific to Eli because I talked about this with Zappy. Yeah. I don't think he should have got in this year for the simple fact that I think the class was so strong.
It was strong.
But it's more that I get annoyed when people try to downplay his achievements and act like he's not a Hall of Famer at all. Well, these are your Hall of Famers right here.
They want to put his record on him, but you can't put a team's record on a quarterback, not the entire record, because there was a lot of games. They said how he had the most games, basically coming back, the comebacks to where, the defense gave up 40 games. He gave the teams leads in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Well, that's something that annoys me because in 11-7, everybody wants to talk about how good the defense was and why he won these games. And in part, it is partially true. You need a team to win. But what frustrates me is in 14 and 15, where he was playing at a comparable level to Brady and Rodgers, his defense was god awful. And that cost a lot of losses because when he walked away from Super Bowl 46, which yesterday was the 14th year anniversary, he was approaching almost 20 games over 500 as a two-time Super Bowl champion. And people forget this. When he walked off the field after defeating Tom Brady, he was only one Super Bowl behind him.
Right. 6 games lost. We averaged 6.6 games lost in the final minute.
And
Doing
people
his
want to talk
last.
about the defense in Super Bowl 46. Yeah, don't get me wrong. They got off to a good start. Justin Tuck's safety on Tom Brady for an
But they
intentional
almost
grounding.
blew it at
But
the end.
are we going to forget that the Giants offense held the ball for 38 plus minutes? It's
Right.
hard. Now, if you give up 17 points on defense and your offense held the ball for 38 minutes, how good was your defensive performance on the whole?
Right.
You gave up 17 points in basically
You basically
38
got
6 in 22
20,
minutes.
20 minutes.
That's not a
That's not
dominant
dominant.
defensive performance.
Mm-mm.
It's a
No.
bad Tom Brady pass. Brady made a bad pass to Chase Blackburn
Mm-hmm.
to an injured Rob Gronkowski. That was a bad pass.
Mm-hmm. Or the
And I'm
pass he
not
threw,
and I'm not
I
trying to
think
tear
the
down the defense. They held the Falcons to 2 points in round one. They played
right.
phenomenal in Lambeau. They basically equaled the 49ers defense in the title game. I'm not taking nothing away from the defense. They had a good run starting in Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
That one play with JPP, that wasn't a good defensive performance. That was a
No.
shootout
Well,
that we made
shootout,
a
yeah.
good special teams play. So I would say the defensive performance for the Giants locked in 2011, the second to last game of the season on Christmas Eve against the New York Jets in an elimination game, a very rare interconference elimination game where the loser, despite being in different conferences, would have been eliminated.
Yes.
So,
Victor Cruz, baby.
yeah, Victor Cruz, Ahmad Bradshaw,
Yeah.
big day. And this is the other thing. Did people know who Victor Cruz was
Nope.
prior to, you know, I mean,
Nope.
Rex Ryan knew who he was because of that preseason game in 2010.
Oh, yeah, he found out.
Jim Sorgi looking like Johnny
Oh, yeah.
Unitas back there. But no,
So they,
truth be told, Idris,
yeah.
he'll get in. It's just
Good
I'm
guy.
tired of him being tore down because if you're talking about the best of the best in the passing era, you got Brady, the man over here, Drew Brees. You got Aaron Rodgers. Brett Favre is in that mix too, because he intertwined into different decades. Now, if Eli is not on their level, which I'm okay with accepting, and if he's that next tier, he was still a player in that era that was winning with Roethlisberger,
Mm-hmm.
his draft mate. So it's totally egregious for me.
And Rivers. I mean, that
Yes, and
that
it's egregious to me.
people don't realize the quarterbacks Eli went up against. He probably went against the greatest era of quarterbacks in the passing game of all
And
time.
that's what bothers me is that people want to downplay this stuff because while you could sit and say that the Giants defense was the main cog in 90 and 86, which I completely agree with,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna listen to the same rhetoric with the Eli runs because the defense did not put together 3 go-ahead drives in 2 different Super Bowls. That was Eli. And Eli Cruz and Knicks, particularly talking about 2011, absolutely carried the New York Football Giants as Eli threw for just under 5K.
Mm-hmm.
And were it not for the kind of season that Aaron Rodgers had, Eli Manning may very well be your NFL MVP in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Moving it along. Drew Brees, shoo-in, obvious, resurrected his career after some douters with his
But hold
big
up.
injury with the
Before
San
you-
Diego Chargers.
Before you go further about Drew Brees, if people are going to judge Eli based on his interceptions and whatever else, you need to put Drew Brees in there because Drew Brees, people need to look up his interceptions. He threw a lot of touchdowns. But I see Drew Brees like Brett Favre, a lot of touchdowns, but he threw a lot of in Eli's era. Drew Brees, I'm just talking about in that period, that time frame that Eli and Drew Brees played. Drew Brees threw more interceptions than
Well, this
Eli
is my
Manning.
issue with Brees. And don't get me wrong, I totally check him for first ballot. But my frustration is that people want to ignore that Drew Brees was the same quarterback on grass or a comparable one that he was into the dome. And that is not true.
Right.
Can you imagine if Aaron Rodgers played in New Orleans all those years?
Oh my goodness.
You imagine if a guy like Dan Marino played in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Or a guy like Brett Favre played in a dome?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I always, and even if Drew Brees scrapes the top 10 all time in quarterbacks, which I think he's on the fence for top 10, despite having the passing yards right behind Brady, because once again, you gotta spit it both ways.
Right.
It's the passing era. That's why I roll my eyes when people try to say that Terry Bradshaw and Joe Namath don't belong in the Hall of Fame, when they played in the era where defenses could get away with murder, literally.
That's why I got Johnny Giannis number 3, because he put up a lot of records in the era where, they beat your ass, dude.
And even if you want to go old school, you got to account for Sammy Baugh and Otto Graham on some level.
Slinging Sammy, yeah.
But I don't have an issue with Brees being a first ballot Hall of Famer. I want to make that clear. Moving it along to Larry Fitzgerald. Do I think he's top 5 all time at his position? This might be an unpopular take. I'm going to say no. I think he's more like top 10. The thing with Fitz is that for a decent chunk of his career, particularly when he had the best quarterback he ever played with, I feel that Anquan Boldin was the superior wide receiver.
Yeah.
Where Fitz gets it is longevity.
Yeah.
Do I think he's better than Largent I think Largent was never the second best receiver on his team.
Nope.
Was Sterling Sharp ever the second best receiver on his team?
Nope. You had Robert Brooks. The way I saw Sterling Sharp, it was like Sterling Sharp and Robert Brooks were like Harper and
Yeah, I can see that. Sterling Sharp, I'm glad he finally got in.
Yeah.
But when you look at that era where he played, he was literally right on Jerry Rice's neck, right behind him.
Yes, he was.
And that bothers me. That bothers me that he doesn't get remembered in the same way. And I understand 7-year career. And then that's why I say Super Bowls matter, because they gave Terrell Davis, Hall of Fame status off a 7-year career, but he also had 2 rings.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, if Sharp doesn't get hurt, he probably plays on the other side of that, and it would have been a brother-brother situation in the Super Bowl. Now, the thing with Fitz, the best compliment I could give him is that outside of Kurt Warner, he never truly had great quarterbacks, or some would even question good quarterbacks. So in that regard, I give it to him. But I do think that on some metrics, Larry Fitzgerald, who I think the world of, he's a great guy, but I do think that some of his stuff is a little skewed.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not to take nothing away from him, because he was a great receiver. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Now, Adam Vinatieri, go ahead.
It's just like with Megatron. This is my opinion. I didn't think Megatron earned his way in. Short career, great numbers, but I just don't think Megatron should have been elected to the Hall of Fame as fast as he did.
Yeah, certain guys, it's like they leave different impressions. Like, I think a lot of media made crap about Terrell Owens was a joke because, listen, Randy Moss, we saw both of them play. And I think Moss is a slight bit better than Owens. But where I give Owens the thing over Moss is that Owens never quit in the middle of a game.
Never quit. Owens,
and
Owens
Moss was first ballot. And that's a big reason why Owens wasn't about it. It wasn't that he had a beef with Moss. It's that he had a beef with the people and the way that because outside of Jerry Rice, those two eerily similar, and you flip a coin or however you view these guys, it's number 2, number 3, no matter how you slice it. And then you could talk about your Steve Largents, your other great receivers that played the game. But as Adam Vinatieri goes, there's absolutely no denying. He's the all-time NFL points leader. There's no denying that he was super clutch, but super advantageous to play with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Do I think he's a better kicker than Morton Anderson? Absolutely not.
No.
I don't even know if he's better than Gary Anderson.
Nah, them Anderson guys, no.
But this is my thing. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be the third all-time, the third kicker ever inducted into the Hall. But it is mind-boggling. And I understand that these are different wings and different categories. But it is mind-boggling to me that this guy gets in the Hall of Fame before Jason Witten and Bill Belichick?
Right.
On the same ballot? On the same year? I'm sorry.
I don't understand that.
No and no.
I'm putting Mort Anderson and Gary Anderson in there.
Well,
first.
Morton's been there. Gary Anderson's not in the Hall.
Oh, I didn't know Morton was in.
Yeah, Morton is in.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
He's the only guy like from that we would remember. There's one other kicker from way before.
The punter Ray guy.
So this is the thing.
I think Dempsey's in there. I'm not sure.
This is the thing. What frustrates me about this is I get it. He's a specialist, all this other stuff. But the volume of opportunities when you're playing with Peyton and Brady is
Right.
better than any other situation you could ever possibly have. And I don't feel that he from a distance level was better than others. I mean, he made the phenomenal kicks. There's no denying that. Nothing
Mhm.
more I think no kick in his career is more iconic than the one in the blizzard against the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. There are other players that should have gotten. I mean, look, Belichick is just the main one.
Mhm.
You gotta put Belichick in there. You have to put Belichick. You have to put Belichick in there. I don't know if it was Zappy that said it, or maybe they're gonna bring Belichick and Kraft in together with Brady. I don't know. Regardless, you gotta put Belichick in there. The
Something tells
guy,
me Tom Coughlin and Eli might end up together too. And the thing is,
they might.
in part because with this Belichick snub thing, it hurts the next guys up like Coughlin, like Holmgren, like the late Dan Reeves.
Yeah, it's
It's
insane.
frustrating.
Yeah,
Now,
it's crazy.
something I give them a huge applause card on.
Hmm.
Roger Craig, the running back of the 90s for the 49ers and the 80s, well, the early 90s and predominantly
Hmm.
the 80s. Roger
Hmm.
Craig is the first notable running back that was really used as a dual weapon in the passing game as well.
Yeah, yeah. He was the original Marshall Falk and all these other guys. Yeah, John, he's caught passes. He blocked. He could knock you out blocking. He ran the ball. He had a unique running style where he ran straight up,
In my
high kick when he
lifetime, and as
walked.
far as I'm
Hmm.
concerned, he's the first dual threat. And when you consider that such an innovative offense of
Hmm.
Bill Walsh that then got handed over to George Seifert, who was another very good coach,
Hmm.
he did well in Carolina as well. William Floyd, guest on our show, actually followed him to Carolina.
Hmm.
My thing is, how does he get devalued in an era where running backs were such a big deal?
I don't understand it. And you know what? He was the only one really doing what he was
What
doing.
is it? Do people really not forgive him for that fumble against the Giants? I'm like, is this real right now?
Right. Dude, people who didn't watch Roger Craig, when you see running backs catching passes out the backfield, that was him. He ran the ball hard, ran the ball very hard. He ran the ball like a fullback, but had the speed of a halfback. The guy was crazy,
The way
man.
I see it is Roger Craig walked so guys like Kamara and McCaffrey could run.
Yes. Yes, because he
And
was the
so
first
many others
one.
that are I find Christian McCaffrey to be the ultimate dual threat.
You
I
know,
think
it's
if
just
Bo Jackson didn't have such a short career because of that
yeah.
horrible injury,
Hmm.
he may have been that dude.
But you know what? You know what's so funny about this? It's crazy how McCaffrey and Roger Craig both played for the 49ers, man. And
Yes, indeed.
you know, Craig doesn't get the credit he deserves.
I just can't
He,
believe he waited that long. I think it's ridiculous.
it's
Now,
just like with Michael Irvin, Drew Pearson waited all these years.
now my
Come
issue too,
on.
I don't okay, when I think about the tight end position, there are
Hmm.
certain guys that are undeniably first ballot talents.
Yeah.
The king of all tight ends, in my opinion, is Tony Gonzalez. In part because he never played with great quarterbacks consistently. He had Matt Ryan for a short while. He missed Joe Montana because he came in the league after Montana left KC.
Hmm.
Um, Kellen Winslow Sr., he was phenomenal, as was
Yeah.
another Charger, Antonio Gates. Of course, Travis Kelsey should be
Isaiah
first
Newsom.
ballot when he has his day.
Yeah.
Dave Casper, Shannon Sharp.
Oh, Dave Casper. Boy, the
Yeah,
holy roll. Holy
yeah.
roll.
These are the creme de la creme in terms of tight ends. Jason Witten deserves a spot at this table, and the fact that
Yes.
he gets overlooked
Yes.
is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
Truly,
Yeah. Jason
truly, because
Witten.
when you look at the era that he played in,
Hmm.
who was more consistent than him before Gronkowski and Kelsey came to prominence?
It's been a while, dude. Especially
It's
when,
an insult.
especially when you're talking
It,
about tight ends that catch the ball and block, block very, very hard.
that's the one
You
reason
know?
why a lot of people will say that Gronkowski is better than Gonzalez because obviously Gronk is a superior blocker. He's just a superior specimen in terms of just being a big dude.
Yeah. Well,
But
he
the
used to be a
reason
big
why I
guy.
give Tony G the edge over Gronk is because I think Tony G was just a better route runner, and
Yeah,
Tony G never played with a Tom Brady. I mean, the best he ever
yeah,
had was Matt Ryan, who was damn good,
yeah,
but he
yeah.
didn't
I
have
agree.
that. And Trent Green was all right for a minute, but the point is that he never had that consistency at the quarterback position guy playing him. Luke Kuechly, they got right, no
Yeah,
issue whatsoever. He walked away from the game a little early,
yeah.
but this is another thing that bothers me.
Hmm.
Luke Kuechly gets in right away. Uh, did Patrick Willis get in on his first try?
I don't think he did.
No, don't quote me on that, but I don't believe he
I
did.
don't think he did.
But this is what I mean about picking and choosing, and sometimes it just really frustrates me.
They need to just. I know they got a certain limit of people. They need to look. They need to just go back and say, "Hey, these guys need to get in. Quit
Aaron
playing."
Woodson's still waiting.
He should have.
Steve
Yes.
Atwater waited forever.
Look at Ken Riley. Ken
And
Riley
I already
waited
mentioned
30.
Sterling Sharp.
Sterling Sharp. Ken Riley waited 30
That's why
years.
even with my own fan base, with certain Giant fans that are losing their shit, I'm like,
Mhm.
guys, he's not going to get in a class where Drew Brees is in. It's just not going to happen.
No.
And I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with Witten and Belichick not making this. It's a real bad look. A
You
kicker
know,
gets in before a dominant tight end and the greatest coach of his era. Come on, do better.
I'll be honest with you, man. The only one of that list that I would have put in right now would have been Roger Craig. Because I
And I'm
know a
going to
bunch
take
of
it a
people.
step further.
Mhm.
I don't want to hear that Belichick's getting buried for Spygate when Drew Brees played on a team when he won his only Super Bowl that was down with Bountygate.
Dude, Jimmy Johnson and I forgot who else said it. They said, yeah, we did that all the time.
But my point is, Idris, is
Yeah.
that if you're going to punish the Patriots for Spygate,
Hmm.
why are you not punishing a player from the Saints? Now, I'm not insinuating that Brees had anything to do with this. He wasn't even on that side of the ball, but he's in the
Right.
facility. He's not
He's in the
stupid.
facility. Yeah, he's not stupid.
Right.
I'm pretty
So
sure he got some intel to help his offense.
the point to be made, the point to be made is that on the other side of the football, when you put out bounties on quarterbacks, Brett Favre mainly,
Hmm.
how does that not diminish what you guys accomplished that year?
Amen.
Because they want to, and listen, I'm not defending the Patriots by any means, but if you're going to tear down one, tear down the other. Oh, and by the way, they're 1-2 in passing. So why is one scandal under a microscope? The other one is brushed away.
Hmm.
Like, this is what I mean about picking and choosing.
Hmm. No, I'm with you.
And I have nothing against Drew Brees. He's a quality individual, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at it this way. Eli got 2 Super Bowls, had probably the 2 greatest Super Bowl runs in the history of the sport. Brees never even got back to an NFC Championship game.
Oh, well, I'll take it a step further.
Mhm.
I don't want to hear nobody talk about that Brees didn't have a defense because Eli didn't have one in 11 until the final 6 weeks. So enough
That's
with that
right.
shit.
Exactly.
And Tom Brady never won a defense with anything lower than a top 8 defense. Never won a
Right.
Super Bowl with anything lower than a top 8 defense.
Right.
But we'll just ignore that too because it doesn't
Right.
fit a certain narrative.
Right. Exactly. Eli's going to get
All
it.
right.
Next
All
year,
right. I'm
get him.
gonna educate some ignorant Giant fans here.
Please do. Please do. Let's go.
Dawn Aponte formerly worked for the Browns, the Jets, and the Dolphins. What is one of her biggest specialties? It's been the mastery of the salary
The
cap.
salary cap.
People are
Money.
frustrated. They see franchises and they don't even know. They don't even know what the teams were doing when she was there. They didn't even take the minute to look at the years she was there.
That's why I'm cool with her being there.
When the New York Jets employed her, they were actually a decent football team. Dolphins and
Mhm.
Browns were mid, but the Dolphins and Browns are always mid.
But you know
It
what?
just
Salary cap is still
amazes
good.
me. The knee-jerk reactions, and people are like, this is a head scratcher. This makes no sense. But
You
these are the
know,
same people crying, bitching, and moaning about equality for women in sports. So don't even
yeah.
get me started.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah. You said what I was going to say. You complain about one thing, but then you complain when she said, I don't have a problem with her hire because anyone who can deal with money the finances when it comes. Okay, let's go bring him in. It's not like she's going to be on a. She's not calling plays. You know what I mean? She's not designing plays. She's not up in the box saying, "Hey, no, what?" That's not her job.
And she don't have a megaphone like Ursay's daughter there.
Right. So so like, what are you guys complaining about? She doesn't have anything to do on the field.
I know. I did want to ask you this.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Matt Nagy getting the Giants OC job? Did you want Davis Webb or Kubiak or someone else?
I would like Kubiak, but I'll take Nagy for the OC.
I think Nagy's getting a bum rap. You know, year one with Mitchell Trubisky, they were a top 10 offense.
Yeah.
And prior to some of the aging and kinks in the armor, particularly on the O-line, and just injuries galore for the Kansas City Chiefs. And another thing, too, that people fail to realize is that at different junctures, he wasn't always calling the plays.
Right.
But, you know, personnel matters. And when you have injuries, it matters. I mean, look what happened to the Eagles. It's not a coincidence. That's more coordinator based.
Right.
But, you know, this is another thing that is a head scratcher to me. People want to blame Nagy for things that were out of his control with the Chiefs. The Eagles didn't have a widespread rush of injuries. They had a coordinator change.
Right.
Those were the two teams that made the Super Bowl the previous year.
The thing about it
things went wrong in two completely different ways.
The thing about it is, and our dumb, I call them delusional fans, is they don't understand the difference between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. You could be a sorry head coach, Josh McDaniel could not be a head coach worth nothing. But you put him as an OC, you're going to win some games.
I think Nagy's going to do fine. I think
he's going to protect Jackson Dart. Because I'm also
happy with the Greg Roman hiring. We don't know what his role is going to be yet, but he's on the staff.
Yeah, that's experience right there.
Yes,
that's a brain right there. That's an OG brain. So yeah,
I look at Harbaugh's career record. He's put together good teams consistently, and to my knowledge, has never won less than 8 games.
You know what I like? I call him Harbaugh's. What I like, what he's doing, he's bringing in coaches. Like, look at Nagy, look at Norman. He's bringing in guys who's been through the trenches.
Yes,
you know, who's been head coaches or been there.
Well, that's a big thing with him. He wants guys that coached in this league as the main person, even if it wasn't the best run. Because Nagy, if the Caleb Parkey kick goes through, maybe he's remembered differently in Chicago. But I'm sorry, you know.
Yeah.
Mitchell Trubisky. Oh, and another thing too. Nagy didn't want Trubisky.
No,
he wanted Mahomes. I mean, even stupid ass Ben McAdoo was smart enough to know that was the guy.
Yeah. So I'm fine with him. You know, we got a guy who's been a head coach. He's won some. He's lost some. He went back over to not Philly, KC with Andy Reid. Got to get his feet back. Get his his feet wet again. OC, come in. Because he knows he's been on both sides. He's been on the winning side. He's been on the losing side. He knows. He got a young quarterback, and I think he's going to protect Jackson Dart because the way he runs that, you see, Patrick Mahomes, he's in that pocket. He might move the pocket, but he's not taking off running. So I like, even when he had Trubisky, he made sure, okay, you're going to sit in the pocket. You can move the pocket, but I don't need you running 10 yards down the field all the time.
Oh, that's valid.
And I like it.
Valid.
And he likes to run the ball too.
I think it just trips me out. For so many years, you see piss poor coaching, piss poor game preparation, piss poor everything all around the board. Defense, offense, special teams among the worst for far too long. You bring in a coach that has a proven track record in this league, that's a former Super Bowl winner, that's doing major shakeups top to bottom in this organization, and you got people complaining. And I'm like, this is why we have a loser mentality.
Because this is the type of coach we need. We need it. Harbaugh is the coach we need. He's coming and saying, look, we need heads in here. Yes. We need heads that been there, who fought. This is what we need to win. I look at him and I say, he looks like somebody who's happy to be in New York, and he's ready to get on the field. You could just
no doubt. It is a good It is a good situation. Final thought before I get out of here. I've barely talked about the New York
Well, you
Rangers
got
this
to
year
work
with good
today too.
reason.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I barely talked about the New York Rangers this year, but I'm going to right now.
Baseball in 2 more
The
months.
recent trade of our Temi Panarin is basically fortifying that we are entering the dark period.
Rock pit. Yep. Yes.
The New York Rangers are the worst team in the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
They are the worst team in hockey,
We have,
in my opinion,
fallen down.
Yeah, they held
Way down.
on to players too long.
Yeah.
This is such an unbalanced roster. Just strap up, Ranger fans. It's going to be about 4 years.
Yeah. Good thing. Thank God for the Knicks. Thank God for the Giants, and thank God for our Yankees.
I'm at the point where I want them to trade when he gets healthy again. I want a complete facelift. Get rid of Igor too.
Get rid of Igor. Yep. Might as well.
Start over. Just
Might as
start
well.
completely over.
Why keep him? Why keep him?
No.
There's no
One
reason to
thing
keep
about
him.
the Rangers that they've always been blessed with, they always find a great goalie.
Yeah,
But I am just so.
Igor? Just tank it out. Be like, look.
Do you know how hard it is for me? It's one thing when the Rangers suck. It's another thing when the Islanders just keep kicking their ass.
That's like Brooklyn beating the Knicks all the time, which is not happening. But that's like,
you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm getting.
Yeah, and people who don't
like
know
the only time in my life where I really felt like it just annoyed me on a level where the Jets were better than the Giants was when they had Parcells.
Yeah, and those listening,
but we still but oddly enough, the Giants beat them when Parcells was there. Oddly enough,
right.
Oddly enough,
you know, people got to understand as New York fans. If we're Ranger fans, we do not like the Islanders. We don't. No,
but the Islanders have been kicking our ass this year.
They've been beating our asses, dude.
They've been finding ways to beat us The Rangers are just a bad team. There's
trade
nothing more
Igor for assets.
Trade them all.
Trade them all. We suck.
Anybody that has 5 years in the league, I want off my team. That's how bad this is right now.
We suck. I mean, what we can't get.
It's so bad.
What we are.
It's so bad.
Just gut the team. Get assets. Get Igor. Be like, Igor, thank you for our little run we had with you, but you got to go. We suck.
Yeah, I'll be like, thank you. You're very rich. You ain't better than King Henry.
You ain't King. Nah. Time to go. Just gut the team. Starts. We suck, dude. We suck. Can you call us blue shirts? We suck.
To the baseball heads, in the next week or so, possibly this next Thursday coming up,
yes, sir.
Richard Dorney will be joining for a detailed baseball preview as catchers and pitchers will be reporting before the end of February. And, February is the shortest month of the year. So baseball's around the corner, guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who's going to step up to the plate in the National League and get in the Dodgers' way? Truthfully, no one. However, I do think if the pitching holds up for the New York Mets, they may challenge them.
Yeah.
I do like what the Mets did. And that's just to go to show you that I'm not just a homer that, I'm just being honest. I think the Mets made enough moves where they can cut the gap a little. The Dodgers are so deep though. So, beating them
if the Mets
in a 7-game series is a real gauntlet.
If the Mets don't met towards the end of the season, they should be okay.
And I'm going to say it right now. Why wouldn't I say it? The New York Yankees are going to win the American League East.
Amen. And we're not home.
Detroit Tigers are going to win the American League Central.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Seattle Mariners are going to win the West.
I can see that.
Atlanta Braves are going to have a bounce back year, get back to the playoffs. The Colorado Rockies are going to try to be the worst team in the history of baseball.
Oh, that's theirs. That's theirs.
Yeah. What else? What else?
Take away the World Series.
Hot takes galore. Hot takes galore on the way. And the Athletics are going to be a 500 team. So there's a couple of hot takes for you to take with you for the weekend.
Yeah, they are just the Athletics.
Yeah, man.
They'll
be moving to Vegas in the next couple of years. But until next time,
yes.
Until next time, he is Idris. I am Richie. If you haven't already, please make it a point, like, and subscribe to the channel, the Richie X Jr. Sports Podcast. We'll be announcing a time for our Super Bowl show tomorrow. Yes. In years past, we've usually done morning shows on the Super Bowl, but we're going to be looking for tomorrow night. If anything changes, we will let you know. Announcements to come.
Word.
Idris, any last words?
Seattle wins. Oh, no. No, be quiet. I'll wait till we do the Super Bowl. So go Knicks, baby.
Oh, Seattle's gonna win. Just tune in tomorrow and we'll tell you how.
Yeah, exactly.
We're also gonna hit on Super Bowls of yesteryear and to build this up because it's just one game and we're not gonna analyze one game for 59 minutes. That would be agonizing for you.
Oh, they don't care. They ain't got nothing else to do. That's why they watch us.
That's right. We got